Hello everybody, welcome to part 5 of Giant Peony Flower tutorial. So in this part we are going to form the petals which will be ready for sticking into the base. So I will not fast forward this part because although it's a repetitive process, it's important. Basically this is the part where the form of the petal will be done and it will affect the look of the peony flower. So what you'll do is take two parts of the oval shaped petal and then one part of the heart shaped petal. So what you'll do is regardless of the sequence, so one petal will like go to the left direction and one petal will go to the right direction and one petal will just remain in the center. So it will look like this. So once the three petals are in place, you kind of squish the lowest part, I mean the bottom part, like this, and then just staple it so it will hold in place. Maybe at least 1 to 3 staples. So it will look like this. So as you noticed, there's a curve part. So this is the um, output that you're trying to achieve for this petal. It shouldn't look flat. It should look like curved. So we need to do this for all the petals that we have. Okay, so remember two parts of the oval shape and one part of the heart shape. Squish the bottom and then staple. So it's just almost similar to the process that we had for the center part. So it should have this curved petal output. Okay, so here it is again. Since as mentioned earlier, it's a repetitive part of the process. So just go ahead and enjoy watching this video. Sometimes I really wish I have a soundproof room so that there's no noises when I uh, record these videos for tutorials. The sounds of the crepe paper is really satisfying when you hear it in the video. But unfortunately, I have to remove it because of the noise in the background. And okay, so maybe someday I'll set up this soundproof room. It's really nice to have the natural background sound of the video though. The crepe paper sound is really satisfying. Well, when you make your own, you'll know what you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we're almost done stapling this petals. So as you can see, there's only one remaining heart shape, and the rest are all oval shape. So don't worry about that. You can still um, create or form the petals with just the oval shaped petals with um, or you can also cut more heart shaped petals, but personally for me I just use what's remaining. Okay. Okay, so once done stapling the petals, we will now attach it to the uh, peony flower base, the plastic one that we had created a while back. Okay, so I'm just setting aside some of the petals. Okay, going back to our base or the center. Okay, for the next part, we're going to attach the petals on the inner part of the base. So the first layer of these petals, we will attach it on the cardboard part, not the plastic part. So Right now, I'm just eyeballing it or just measuring it on the base. So I know where to put glue on the outside of the petal. Okay, right here, it's just measuring. And then next is, I'll just get this one and then add hot glue on the outer part. So my hot glue is ready and I'll put it on the outside of the petal. So basically you just add an ample amount of hot glue, not too much, not too small, just enough to stick on the cardboard parts of the base. Don't put or don't stick it yet on the plastic part. Stick it first on the cardboard part. It will have a difference on the look actually. So I tried that before and I didn't quite achieve the kind of curvature or like a circle part of the center. So that's it. I need to glue it on the lower part of the cardboard, not on the plastic part. Okay, so we will do that for the rest until it covers the whole circle of the base. Okay, so for the next petal, just do the same and then overlap it a bit on the first one. So as you can see, the bases didn't overlap, but the top part overlapped because the lower and the lower part and the upper part doesn't have the same size. But okay, so it's actually a bit hard to stick it on the lower part. So just here, I'm just trying to fold it and then add glue again. If possible, do not leave any visible space at the bottom part. The bottom part doesn't overlap, but it should not have any spaces or gaps when you look at it. Okay, so just do this until you've covered everything in the bottom part. Okay, so once you're done sticking all the petals on the bottom part, you recheck the output and see if it looks good. So for me personally, I check the output from time to time. So what we're expecting here it is that it would it would look like somehow it's overlooking the smaller petals at the center. So the bigger petals are like overlooking or I don't know what's the term for that, but it's curving inwards towards the center part. Although not too much, but I mean, you'll get the idea that it's like overlooking or curving in towards the center. So once done with the center part, we will now add the petals on the inner part of the base. So it's specifically the plastic part. It's no longer the cardboard part, but it's still in the inner part of the base. So as you can see, when I try to stick it in inside, it's curving more inwards. And that's the kind of center that you'd like for your peony. As you noticed, I did not add glue too much. I just stick it like around 3/4 of the base of the plastic base, not all the way down to the cardboard part. So here, as you can see here, it's not sticked all the way, it's not attached all the way to the bottom part. So okay, we'll do the same as before. You get the other petals and stick it around the circle. And the petals should be curving in towards the center. It shouldn't be flat. Now, I'll just emphasize that. It shouldn't be flat. It should look curvy towards the center. Okay. And also, I'm also particular about the, what you call this, the direction of the petals. So, since we're overlapping some petals, you'd notice the direction of the petals. So, when you're doing that, try to be uniform of everything. Like when you stick it on the left side or you stick everything on the right side. So yeah, I'm for me personally, I'm just trying to make my own flower here. So I'm for this one, I'm just sticking it um towards the left. So you can do your own kind of attaching the petal, so it's really up to you. You can just use this as a baseline of what you're going to do. So this one is a repetitive process until you cover everything for this inner circle. So we're now attaching the last petal for the inner part. Sometimes it's hard for me to do this actually, and it kind of messes up sometimes. But just try to be careful and stick it inside so it will complete the whole inner circle of the petal. So your output should somehow looks like this. So there's a curvature that's going inside, and as you notice, there's the direction of the petals, uniform direction of the petals. So that's what I'm always going for, to have a uniform direction of petals, and as well as the curvature as of the inner parts. Okay, once you get a very pretty center, it will uplift your spirit to continue making this. So anyway, that's just what I feel when every time I make this peony flower. So I always make sure that the center is also pretty, not just the outer part. So anyway, moving on to the outer part of the base. So we will just get the same group of petals, and then instead of adding glue at the outer part of the petal, you put a glue inside of the petal and then stick it outside the base. So this is what I'm going to do, and then stick it inside. Don't stick it too much below the base. So in this part, we're trying to get an even more curvature inwards. Okay, so I'm just adding petals on opposite sides, like 4 pieces of it on opposite sides, like east, west, north, and south parts, so I can have a symmetry on the petals. So, okay, for now, it's it's not sticking well, so I have to hold it very well. If it's not sticking well, just add some glue and hold it or press it before getting your hands off, so it will stick very well on the base plastic. Okay, alright, so I'm just adding glue where there are parts that doesn't stick very well. I'm not yet considering the directions of the petals in this part, but I'm still in the process where I'm adding the 4 like points of petals, so we can add the other petals later. And okay, it will look more fluffy. So there's a reason why I'm adding the petals on 4 different sides and not on a directional kind of attaching it. So I'll just get to that part later. For now, just continue watching it like this. Oh, it did not stick well. So as I mentioned earlier, just add glue again and then stick it again on the part and hold it very well until it's hard enough that it stick very well on the base. You can already notice now that it looks fluffier. So that's what we're aiming for. And it will look more fluffier later. Okay, so we're done attaching the 4 points of the petals. So now we're going to attach the other petals. So based on the first four petals that we have in the outer part, just stick it in an left and right direction. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it should be like facing towards the left and the other one is going to the right. So if this is the center, you see this, and then the other part the other parts, the two parts of the petal should look like this. You just stick it very near the bottom part of the uh, petal that's on the part of the 4 points. It really takes time to do this on your own, but once you do this many times, it's I'd say it's easy because it's repetitive, but it's just tedious because it's repetitive. And once you're doing this many times, you'll know the process without even looking at this video anymore. So for this process, you actually need to do this for all the first four petals that were attached at the outer part of the base. You can adjust the petals from time to time. So as mentioned before, I'm usually checking the output from time to time as well. Okay, so as you see, it looks fluffier now. And we're almost done at the top part of the outer layer of the base. It looks bigger now and I'm having uh, trouble fitting it in the screen. So anyway, let's just continue. So once done putting or adding the other petals on the first 4 points, so just fill in the gaps of those points with a petal. So like this, you just stick it in between those 2 points. So now it looks rounded instead of like a diamond or square. So it looks rounded now. Okay, we're almost done with this part and then we'll go to the next part.